Discover the astonishing all-natural method that boosts your testosterone by up to 434% more than exercise alone, naturally. Hi, my name is Jack Simmons, and if you're like most men over 40, you might have already felt it happening. Waking up most mornings even more exhausted than you were when you went to bed, like your very bones had turned to lead while you slept. Muscle you worked so hard to build, melting off your body like candle wax, no matter what you eat, no matter how hard you work out. The sex drive that used to pound in your veins like thunder, so you could barely think above the roar, evaporating like water from a pan. So you find yourself making dumb excuses when your wife or girlfriend wants to fool around. How every day you feel a little older, a little softer around the middle, a little sadder, a little less motivated to do the things you used to love. If you have felt any of this, or if you've been told that your testosterone dropping as you get older is just a normal part of being a man and you should just accept it, then this will be the most important video you watch for the rest of your masculine life. Why? Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you my personal story of how helpless I felt as my own testosterone levels inched lower and lower as I got into my 40s, no matter how hard I lifted, no matter what I ate, no matter how hard I fought, and introduce you to a simple, once-a-day, masculinity restoring and enhancing ritual, even easier than brushing your teeth, that skyrocketed my body's natural testosterone production by up to 434% more with exercise than you could get with exercise alone. Giving me back my energy, my drive, the passion in my marriage, and even my identity as a man. That's right. I know it sounds unbelievable, and I'm not asking you to believe me until you see the incredible proof yourself. But study after scientific study has shown that it really is true, and that you can potentially double or even quadruple your body's natural testosterone production with exercise compared to just exercising. Just by doing this one thing for 8 seconds twice a day, and for less than you pay for your morning cup of coffee. In fact, if you simply do what I say in this short video, like tens of thousands of men around the world have already, you'll be shocked at how quickly and how easily you're able to boost your body's natural testosterone production. So you wake up every morning with electricity in your veins, even if you feel like your bones are made of lead when you wake up in the morning now. So you find yourself lusting after your wife, your girlfriend, or even women you see on the street with the sheer primal masculine intensity you haven't felt since you were 25. Literally salivating at a hot woman's ass as she wiggles her way by you. So your mind feels sharp as a razor blade again, no matter how hard it is to concentrate now. And so you feel alpha male confidence in the bedroom you haven't felt since you were a much younger man. Who the heck am I to make such a huge promise? And why should you listen to a thing I say? Like I said, my name is Jack Simmons. I'm a 45-year-old husband and father from a small town in Idaho, where I live with my wife Jenny, our 2 kids Blake and Fiona, and our 8-year-old Australian Shepherd, and my best friend Milo. But more than that, I'm a middle-aged guy who has experienced firsthand the humiliating hell of plummeting testosterone, who knows what it's like to have my very masculinity stolen from a little bit more every day since I hit my mid-30s. To lose the power, energy, and sheer overwhelming lust that defined me as a man. To get softer and fatter, no matter how hard I worked out, even though it was so easy to put on muscle and keep it on when I was younger. And who has dedicated his life to fighting back against the forced feminization of men that has been going on since the 1980s, exposing the feminizing forever chemicals which seep into your bloodstream and flood your body with masculinity-destroying estrogen. And after almost losing my marriage and my very life, discovering an astonishing natural testosterone booster that has given men around the world, like you and me, back their energy, desire, and drive in a shockingly short amount of time. Now, I'm going to reveal to you the astonishing secret of how you can naturally boost your testosterone by up to 434% more with exercise than you would with exercise alone in just 2 short minutes from right now. But before I do, it's incredibly important that I tell you my own humiliating story of how my own experience with low testosterone almost cost me my marriage, my job, and even my life. "Will you please put down your damn phone and look at me?" my wife Jenny screamed while opening her robe, and suddenly I wished I was dead. "Yeah, baby, I just need to check in with work." I lied and looked everywhere but at her, feeling ashamed and feminine and weak. For the first 10 years of our marriage, I couldn't keep my eyes or my hands off of her. Sometimes she'd meet me at the door in nothing but her bra and panties, and I'd smile and I'd feel that thunder in my veins. That deep, overwhelming masculine desire, that hunger in my chest that made me salivate over her every curve. I'd throw her over my shoulder like a caveman and carry her to the bedroom like she weighed nothing, and ravish her until we lay there sweaty and satisfied in the middle of the bed. And in those moments with her head resting on my chest, I felt like a king. Of course, that was years ago when I was still in my 30s, when I still felt like and looked like and acted like the man Jenny fell in love with in the first place. I think I was 40 or so when I really started to notice things changing. I used to be one of those guys that bounded out of bed in the morning, crackling with energy, ready to face the day. But suddenly, I was waking up more exhausted than I was when I went to sleep. I found myself getting more and more unmotivated, spending more time joylessly watching porn or playing video games instead of attacking the world the way I used to. Not to mention what was happening with my workouts. I always prided myself on being an athlete, on being able to compete with guys even if they were half my age. But suddenly, "Come on, old man, push!" my 16-year-old son Blake laughed while spotting me at the gym as I grunted and groaned and eventually begged my own kid to grab the bar and help me out. Just a couple years ago, he looked up to me like a superhero. Now he could barely keep the pity out of his voice as he helped the old man push out a few pitiful reps. No matter how hard I worked out, no matter how I ate, no matter how hard I tried, it didn't matter. Every day I felt less and less like the powerful, confident man I was. The man my wife respected. The man my daughter and son admired and looked up to. The man who would walk through a wall if you were stupid enough to put one in front of him was disappearing a little more every day, leaving a weak, tired, soft old man in his place. I felt like I was in a horror movie as I watched myself transform in the bathroom mirror every morning. I grit my teeth in frustration as my shoulders and biceps shrank. My gut expanded, and I got more and more exhausted and felt less and less like a man each and every day until I could barely recognize myself in the mirror. But the worst part is what happened to my sex drive, what my lack of interest did to Jenny's self-esteem, and how my failures as her husband and as a man almost forced her to leave me. Is it me? Am I too fat? Am I too old? Are you just not attracted to me? Are you watching a lot of porn? Is there somebody else? She begged when I couldn't perform for her like I used to. Jenny has never had a problem with getting attention from men, and looks even better at 40 than she did when she was 25. Regularly getting catcalls as she walks down the street, fighting off horny assholes who see the wedding ring on her finger as a challenge to be overcome. But how could I explain it to her? I mean, she's a woman, and guy to guy, we both know that women have a tendency to take every little thing we do or say personally. Like everything we men say or do are a direct criticism of her when nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, it's not even her fault. She's been taught her entire life since she was a little girl that us guys are always horny, that we always want sex, that her job is to be on defense all the time because men just can't control ourselves, and that if I wasn't constantly ripping her clothes off the moment I saw her, it must be her fault when nothing could be further from the truth. How could I explain to her the shame I was feeling? That while I used to want to grab every beautiful woman I saw and ravish her until she was a satisfied womanly puddle on the floor, that now, when I looked at my gorgeous wife, or stared at hot 22-year-old girls doing squats on Instagram, or watched porn behind her back, or looked at the hot barista at Starbucks, I felt nothing at all. "It's not you, baby. I'm just really stressed out," I said, terrified of disappointing her again, but even more terrified of telling her the truth. And then through her tears, she looked at me and said the words that hurt me more than if she'd kicked me in the balls with cowboy boots. "I love you, but I need to be desired, Jack. I need to be touched. I need to be with a man who knows how to make me feel like a woman. And if you can't do that, maybe it's time for me to find a man who can." And then she walked out the door and headed to her sister's. And I screamed at the thought that she might never come back. "I'm sorry, Jack. I can't help you. Your testosterone is normal," my doctor said, and I wanted to sob like a little girl. Normal? What the hell is he talking about? "But doc, I'm exhausted all the time. I look at a beautiful woman and I feel nothing," I said. I know. But for a 45-year-old man, the normal range for testosterone is 300 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. You're at 315. That's low normal, but it's normal. Besides, once you go on that stuff, you can never come off of it. After a few months, it completely shuts down your ability to create testosterone on your own, and I'm not doing that to your body unless we absolutely have to. That night I stayed up late getting drunk on my dad's favorite bourbon and thinking about Jenny. Beautiful, sexy, passionate Jenny. My lady, my wife, the love of my life, as the little song I used to sing goes. And no matter how hard I tried to stop it, I find myself thinking about her leaving me for some other man. Some other man like her 6'3" friend, Brad from work, who I caught staring at her ass like a cut prime rib steak at the company Christmas party, and who I knew would swoop in like a vulture if he thought he even had half a chance with her. Sitting there, I knew I had a choice to make that would affect every moment of my life going forward. And when I thought about it, I realized I really just had three options. One, I could give up and accept that my plummeting testosterone was just part of getting older. I could give up on my marriage and let Jenny find some other guy who could treat her the way she deserved to be treated. Two, I could ignore what my doctor said and find somebody who would prescribe me TRT anyway. There are plenty of less than ethical doctors out there who would take care of me if I made it worth their while. But then I thought about the look on my dad's face when he had his heart attack at the dinner table when I was just a teenager. I knew I could never risk leaving my kids without a dad the way I was, which left me with three. I could pick myself up, dust myself off, and fight for my marriage, my family, my career, my body, and even my very identity as a man. The next morning, I dove into research like a man possessed with one incredible goal in mind: raise my testosterone naturally and become the man my wife and my kids deserve, or die trying. Well, or maybe not die trying, but you get the idea. I'm not a doctor or anything, but what I am professionally is a software engineer for a big company you've heard of, but I can't mention here. And as an engineer, I was taught from an early age to think critically, be skeptical, and make decisions based on provable facts and truth. So I started off by diving into scientific and medical journals, looking for proven, peer-reviewed studies, looking for natural supplements that could help my body naturally produce more testosterone. Now, if you've ever done a simple Google search for testosterone supplements, you know firsthand how overwhelming it is. All sorts of crazy brands making all sorts of crazy promises, most of them with no actual scientific basis or proof they actually work at all. I drove myself kinda nuts for a while, drowning in all the flat-out crap out there designed to take advantage of guys like you and me while giving us nothing but false hope in return. But then something magical happened, as I started to see study after peer-reviewed study revealing an incredible shrub that had been used by men for thousands of years to naturally boost testosterone. Now, if you've been researching testosterone supplements on your own, you might already know the shrub I'm about to talk about, and it's called ashwagandha, a shrub that grows in dry, subtropical regions in Africa and Asia, where it's been used as a medicinal plant for thousands of years. The name ashwagandha is made up of two Sanskrit words, ashwa meaning horse, and gandha meaning smell. Why is it called horse smell? Well, in the first place, it's because the plant really does smell like a wet horse. But it's also because throughout history, this incredible shrub has been used to give even the oldest, weakest man the strength and the vitality of a 2-ton Clydesdale stallion. And the reason ashwagandha has been revered for centuries as a masculinity enhancer is due to one incredible ingredient called KSM66. And just how powerful and effective is KSM66? That's a great question. And luckily, it's an incredibly easy one to answer. That's because KSM66 has been exhaustively studied in over 24 double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled clinical studies. That means the absolute highest scientific standards were used to guarantee the validity of the results. And those results are astonishing. Again and again, KSM66 has been clinically proven to skyrocket testosterone levels by up to 434% more in men who exercise than with exercise alone naturally. Boost oxygen utilization during exercise by elevating VO2 max by 5.67% in just 12 weeks. dramatically increasing your endurance and ability to put out max power over time. Support healthy cortisol, the strength-depleting stress hormone, by a staggering 27.9% more than just exercise in just 8 weeks. Reduce body weight by 3% more with exercise than just exercise alone in just 8 weeks without changing your diet and while gaining muscle. And considering how much more muscle weighs than fat, the body transformation is truly incredible. But that's not all. Taken in clinical doses, KSM-66 has been shown to dramatically boost testosterone, allowing you to increase muscle size in the arms and chest, so you regain more of the strength low T has sapped away from you, and so you look years younger than you are. Decrease exercise-induced muscle damage so you recover like an elite athlete. Improve your memory and executive function so you feel sharp and focused at work, and stop forgetting where your keys or the TV remote are every 5 minutes. Dramatically drop body fat percentage so your gut shrinks and you can see more definition in your arms and chest. Boost your ability to focus on your work, your workouts, the woman in your life, or whatever else you want to, instead of struggling with the attention span of a cocaine-addled ferret you have now. Improves your sleep so you wake up every morning feeling rested and ready to attack the day, and much more. All proven by peer-reviewed scientific studies when taken at clinically recommended doses. I was over the moon when I discovered KSM-66. Then I got some bad news that almost made me give up for good. See, the good news is that KSM-66 has been proven by study after study to boost testosterone naturally. The bad news is that getting enough KSM-66 in clinically proven doses and in a formula that allows you to absorb KSM-66 more quickly and more easily is almost impossible to find. Honestly, at first it drove me crazy and made me think my marriage really was doomed. Google searches, looking at Amazon, even going to my local supplement store, I found bottle after bottle of watered down crap being marketed as life-changing KSM-66. Seriously, it was ridiculous. You see, according to study after study, the therapeutic amount of KSM-66 you need to turbocharge your natural testosterone production is 600 milligrams per serving. Anything less than that, and you are completely wasting your time. So imagine how shocked I was when I found out that most of the KSM-66 related supplements out there had 50 or 60 milligrams of KSM-66 at most, which is a total ripoff if you actually want to naturally raise your testosterone. Even worse, when I did find supplements that had close to the therapeutic amount of KSM-66, it was missing the additional ingredients scientific studies showed you needed in the formulation in order to actually impact your T production. I almost gave up. I almost accepted defeat. But then one day, I stumbled onto an incredible supplement called Testosil, the only supplement out there with a full therapeutic amount of KSM-66 with just 2 daily servings. And suddenly my life changed forever. Honestly, I didn't expect much when I first got the black and red bottle in the mail, but I promised myself I would give it one more try. So every morning when I woke up, I would take 4 of the little capsules with a glass of water first thing. At first, I didn't notice anything at all and thought that this was going to be just another failed experiment. Honestly, if I hadn't promised myself I would commit to using Testosil for a full month, I probably would have given up in frustration. So I powered through, hoping like hell for a testosterone miracle, and I went to 2 suggested daily servings to get the full clinical dosage. Then one day, about 2 weeks in, I started to notice things change. It was subtle at first. One day I woke up and instead of feeling like my bones were made of lead and laying there trying to force myself to start the day, I just got up and I felt good in a way I hadn't felt in over a decade. Clear-headed, motivated, sharp. I'd gotten so used to being exhausted all the time that at first I thought something might be wrong with me. But over the next few weeks, things just got better and better. In so many ways, I felt like I'd been drowning and my rising T was finally allowing me to breathe again. I had more energy at the gym and was able to push harder at my workouts. Finally shutting my kid up about what an old man I was and reminding him I could still kick his butt. My belly shrank away like I'd used one of those Marvel movie shrinking discs on it. The muscles in my back, arms, and legs started to get bigger and better defined. But even better than all of that was the hunger that started to bubble up in me again, and the primal masculine power that was flowing out of me in waves. It almost scared me the first time I felt it again. I was at the gym doing my third set on the bench when a beautiful blonde in her 20s walked by and drew my eye like a tractor beam to her magnetic, magical curves. I tried to be subtle and not stare, but just a glance of her ass made a growl resonate in my chest like a thundering bass guitar. And suddenly a fantasy of her wreathing in ecstasy beneath me showed up in 4K Technicolor in my head. But that wasn't the best part, or the most incredible. Because sitting there on the bench, imagining me and that beautiful girl sweaty and grunting like something out of a porn movie, I realized for the first time in as long as I could remember, I was feeling overwhelming, animalistic desire just by looking at a woman. No needing to masturbate to get ready, no playing porno in my head trying to get myself excited. I just looked at this woman and felt a ravenous hunger for her, as intense as I felt when I was a 16-year-old lusting after the hottest girl in school during math class. I laughed out loud and texted Jenny and told her to meet me at home as soon as she could to talk about something serious. "What's gotten into you?" Jenny giggled as I threw her over my shoulder like I was a conquering Viking. She wrapped her legs around my waist and locked her feet behind me. I grabbed her by the scruff of the neck and crushed her lips to mine in a kiss as passionate and desperate as the very first one we had all those years before. I carried her to the bedroom and ravished her in a way a woman as beautiful and sexy and unapologetically feminine as my wife needs to be ravished. To be put in her place by a man she respected. To feel owned the way she loved to feel owned. Laying there afterwards with Jenny's head resting on my chest, I felt a weird mix of ecstasy and rage. Ecstasy because I had found a natural way to elevate my energy, drive, and my very sense of my own masculinity. And rage because of how much time I had wasted and how much money I had wasted when the answer was right there in front of me all the time. In that moment, feeling Jenny against me and feeling like a man again for the first time, and as long as I could remember, I made a decision that I wouldn't rest until I helped as many men as possible experience what I was feeling. To get their power and their very identity as men back. When I first reached out to the manufacturers of Testosil, they told me I was crazy. See, like I said before, the whole reason I made this video is to help as many men as possible experience what it's like when you optimize your testosterone levels with a true therapeutic dose of KSM 66. And the last thing I want is for any guy to miss the opportunity to feel the incredible impact of Testosil because it was too expensive. Which is why I personally went to the manufacturer and flat out begged them to let me offer you an astonishing, no-brainer deal you're not going to believe when I tell you about it. Because if you've watched this far into this video, it shows me you're truly ready to take not just your masculinity back, but your entire life back. It's your turn to take the testosterone time machine so you feel that same electrical spark up and down your spine you did when you were younger. It's your turn to feel that thunder in your chest when you look at a hot girl wiggle her ass down the street. It's your turn to get your power back as a man like I have, and like thousands of other guys around the world have. Martin from New Mexico, who says, "Over the last few years, I found my performance at the gym just getting worse and worse to the point I was flat out being lapped by guys 10 years younger than me. I started Testosil about 3 months ago, and I've seen my performance skyrocket to levels I haven't seen in years. I'm happier, more energetic, I don't have brain fog anymore, and I'm flat out enjoying my life more. Thank you so much for creating such a great product. Here's exactly how the scientifically proven ingredients in the Testosil formula naturally boost testosterone by up to 434% more in men compared to men who only exercise. Helps decrease estrogen and give the energy, muscle mass, and ravenous sexual desire of a much younger man. The primary ingredient in Testosil formula is, of course, pure hyperconcentrated KSM-66, the most studied ashwagandha extract in the world. Backed by over 24 placebo-controlled, double-blind studies, this incredible extract has been perfected by over 14 years of research. What do I mean by hyperconcentrated? I mean Testosil has an astonishing 1,200% more concentration form of KSM-66 than most competing formulas use. Yes, that really is 12 times the concentration as those other formulas, which means, unlike those other formulas, Testosil actually has enough KSM-66 to supercharge your body's natural testosterone production. But that's not all. Testosil also has 10 extra proven testosterone boosting ingredients and each daily dose designed to supercharge the KSM-66 in the formula. Ingredients like fenugreek, a unique herb used for thousands of years in Indian and Pakistani cooking. Fenugreek has been shown to not only boost testosterone, but to actually turn down and balance out the estrogen in your body to optimal rates so it doesn't wreak havoc on your body. ZMA, an essential combination of zinc, magnesium, and B6 that are mission critical for keeping your testosterone levels in the Goldilocks zone, where you're at your strongest and most powerful. D-aspartic acid, DAA, an amino acid responsible for synthesizing testosterone while also regulating other hormone functions to help your body stay energized all day long and dramatically increase your performance in the weight room. Plus, every capsule of Testosil is jam-packed with L-arginine, HCl, Panax ginseng, Allium sativum, calcium D pantothenate, and vitamin D3. On top of all that, the manufacturers have supercharged Testosil with estrogen to massively speed up your results. Listen, the fact of the matter is that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much of each ingredient Testosil has if your body can't absorb it. The sad truth is that a whole lot of supplements out there end up getting pissed out a few hours after taking them because the absorption rate is so low, which is why the manufacturer added estrogen to the formula. What the heck is estrogen? Estrogen is a 100% natural compound that combines astragalus and Panax ginseng using a pharmaceutical-grade process. The result is a unique absorption-enhancing discovery clinically proven to improve the effectiveness of supplements like Testosil. On top of that, estrogen was tested in 16 in vitro and 8 in vivo studies with phenomenal results published in leading scientific journals like the Journal of Agriculture and Food Chemistry, Molecular Nutrition and Food Research and Scientific Reports. Plus, based on extensive research backing this unique compound, estrogen is GRAS, generally recognized as safe, according to the rules and regulations administered by the FDA. Now let's talk about you using Testosil to optimize your masculinity and your life too. Listen, the only reason you'd still be with me watching this video is because you're ready and because you want to experience the incredible results myself and so many other men have gotten with Testosil. So let me ask you a question. How much would it be worth to you to wake up every day not just rested, but crackling with energy that lasts all day long with none of the crash in the afternoon you're experiencing now? To not just match, but crush your personal best at the gym. Flat out embarrassing guys half your age with your crazy old man strength. To make women who would have intimidated the hell out of you when you were younger blush when you look at them because they can feel the overwhelming alpha energy seeping out of every testosterone-soaked pore of your body. To feel and act like a man who demands respect from everyone around him and gets it without having to ask. I can tell you from my own experience, all it takes is 1 or 2 servings of Testosil a day. Just take a second and really think about it. If you knew with 100% certainty that Testosil would optimize your natural testosterone the way it's worked for me and thousands of other men around the world, how much would you be willing to pay? $1,000? $10,000? $100,000? I mean, it's almost an absurd question, isn't it? I know when I was where you are now, I would have given everything I had to feel like a man again, and I think you'll agree that having your power and self-esteem back is priceless. But just to put a number on it, I bet you'd agree that if you knew with 100% certainty that it would work, paying $299 a month to have an abundance of life-enhancing testosterone humming through your veins would be an absolute steal. And with all the astonishing proof we have of Testosil's ingredients increasing testosterone by up to 434% more than exercise alone, and with a hyper-concentrated purity of KSM-66 in each and every capsule of Testosil, that would be a reasonable price. But here's the thing, I'm not a rich guy, I do fine, but my wife and I pay really strict attention to our budget, and I know full well how hard it can be to part with your hard-earned cash, no matter how much you want this with every fiber of your being. Which is why I went out on a limb for you and negotiated an incredible discount so you can try out Testosil and experience the incredible results I've talked about here at the cheapest price possible. Like we said before, if money were no object, it would easily be worth at least $299 a month for a product like Testosil. But because you've watched this video and stuck with me, I'm not going to ask you to pay $299. I'm not going to ask you to pay $199. Heck, I'm not even going to ask you to pay a shockingly low $99 for Testosil. Nope, because you've watched this video, I'm going to let you experience Testosil for just $59.99. But that's not all. I told you before I was going to make you a truly killer offer, which is why for as long as this video is up, I'll double your order of Testosil at no additional charge. Which means if you act right now, and I truly don't know how long we'll be able to keep this discount going, you'll get 2 bottles of masculinity optimizing Testosil for less than you'd pay for you and your wife to have dinner at a middle-of-the-road restaurant. But that's not all. Getting 2 bottles of Testosil at an incredible discount is pretty great. But the fact is, once you use this stuff, you're going to want to get more of it and add it to your daily routine pretty much right away. But again, for as long as this video is up, you can extend your buy one get one free discount and either get 4 bottles for the price of 2, or, and this is obviously the best possible offer, a shocking 6 bottles of Testosil for the price of 3, meaning you're paying a measly $29.99 a bottle. Now this is really important. Your deep discount and buy one get one free offer is only available right here, right now. And I'm not sure how long the Testosil manufacturers are going to allow me to keep it live, since doubling your order for free obviously cuts deeply into the profit margins. Which is why if you're the kind of guy who cares about getting the most value for the least amount of money, you should consider the 4 bottles or 6 bottle package so you absolutely maximize the bang you get for your buck. But please, if you pass up this opportunity, don't send me an email begging for this deal later, as there will be nothing I can do to help you, and you'll have no one else to blame for having to pay full price but yourself. Oh, and just to make this fall off a log easy, I've convinced the manufacturer to give you shipping and handling 100% free. All you have to do to lock in your discount is just click the big button below the package you want right now. You'll then be brought to our secure checkout page where you'll select the limited 6 bottle package or any other package you want. Enter your order details and your bottles of Testosil will show up at your door, typically within 5 business days. Oh, and don't worry, the manufacturer uses discreet packaging so nobody will have any idea what's in the box. Oh, and just to sweeten the deal and make this a no-brainer for you, you'll also get the definitive guide to maintaining and increasing testosterone levels free. Written by a Renegade certified strength and conditioning specialist, this incredible report teaches you the secret source of pure natural testosterone doctors are not telling you about. Shows you why bulking up in your 40s, 50s, and 60s is the key to avoiding injury as you age, and how to bulk up safely, quickly, and effectively at any age, and more. If you're like most of the guys who have devoured this report, you'll start referring to it as your personal testosterone Bible. The definitive guide to maintaining and increasing testosterone levels is a $19.95 value, but it's yours free just for trying out Testosil today. You'll see and feel the difference, or you get your money back, 1-year guarantee. Here's how it works. Click the button below to select your preferred package of Testosil. The special 6-bottle package is the most cost-effective and allows you to save the most money with your special Thanks Jack discount code. The manufacturer will immediately rush your package of Testosil to your door in a plain brown box with no indicator whatsoever on the outside saying you're getting testosterone pills or anything like that. Once you get your package, use the stuff. Every day when you wake up or every night when you go to bed, take 1 to 2 servings of Testosil with water or whatever else you like to drink. And then all you have to do is wait. If you don't see results, if you don't find yourself recovering faster from workouts, if you don't find yourself putting on muscle more easily, if you don't find your sex drive turned up to 11 so your chest hair grows chest hair, if you don't find yourself crackling with energy when you used to wake up feeling more exhausted than when you went to sleep, if you don't feel like Testosil has over-delivered on everything I've said to you today, simply return all your bottles at any time for the rest of your life, and the manufacturer will give you a prompt and courteous refund for all unopened bottles and 1 open bottle with no explanation needed and no questions asked. 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 1 full year from now. If at any point you decide that Testosil isn't everything I've told you it is and much more, you'll get a prompt and courteous refund, no questions asked. Why is the manufacturer willing to take that kind of risk? After all, it would be pretty easy for you to rip them off with this lifetime guarantee, right? Well, I asked the manager over there who runs the place that very question. And he told me from his point of view, offering you this incredible guarantee isn't a risk at all. The fact of the matter is, this stuff works. And the Testosil team knows that if you try Testosil and really give it a chance, you're going to get results that make the already shockingly low price you're paying today seem like an absolute steal. If that sounds fair to you, and if you're ready to feel the incredible results you'll get with Testosil, all you have to do is click the button below, select how many bottles of Testosil you want to apply to your incredible discount, and enter your Thanks Jack coupon code to lock in your discount. As I've told you a few times, the reason I made this video is because I've made it my mission to help as many guys as possible get their very masculinity back with Testosil. But the fact is, I can only help you if you choose to help yourself. So do me a favor, take a breath and think about what you're about to do seriously. Because the way I see it, you really do only have 2 options when it comes to your testosterone: your life and your very identity as a man. Option 1 is to do nothing. Let this video end, leave this site behind, try to forget everything you've learned here today. Just give up and accept that your plummeting testosterone rates are just part of getting older. Keep waking up more exhausted than you were when you went to bed. Try to ignore the look of disappointment in your woman's eyes when you turn her down because you simply don't have the sexual desire you once did. Choke on the shame you feel when you look at a beautiful woman walking down the street because watching a gorgeous ass walk by used to make you roar inside. Now it does nothing at all. That's one option, that's one choice. And if that's the choice you want to make right now, to watch your very masculinity flow out of you like water down a drain, well, if that's what you want to do after everything you've learned in our time together, I won't try to stop you. In fact, if that's the choice you want to make, I'll thank you for getting out of the way so other men can take the bottles of Testosil currently set aside for you. But if you're a fighter, the kind of man who never gives up, the kind of man who would stick with me all the way through this video because you know deep in your heart that it really is as good and as powerful and as life-changing as it sounds, then it's time for you to choose option 2. To make the choice thousands of men across America and around the world have made before you by taking advantage of this incredible opportunity and grabbing your steeply discounted bottles of top-grade KSM 66 infused Testosil right now before we run out and you're forced to wait weeks or even months before we get any back in stock. You already know that when you trust Testosil with this incredible lifetime guarantee, you risk absolutely nothing and you can get your money back even after you've tried out Testosil. Heck, you can even send back an empty bottle. So please, from one man who knows exactly what you're going through right now and who has felt the humiliation and shame that comes with low testosterone, please click the button below, enter the special Thanks Jack coupon code and grab your balls of Testosil while you can. I personally promise you'll be happy that you did. I personally promise that when you're old and on your deathbed, you'll look back and see this as one of the most important moments of your life. The moment you became the alpha male you always wished you could be. I hope you understand how much the deck has been stacked in your favor here, so you can't lose. Actually, there's one way you can lose. By letting cynicism and doubt get in the way of attaining your dreams. I don't like to talk about it, but I have a nightmare sometimes. A nightmare that I never got to experience the incredible power of pure, highly concentrated KSM 66 and the complete Testosil formula. That I let myself experience the same horrible fate as the average American man. When I have this nightmare, I wake up in a sweat, but then I feel my wife's ass against me as I spoon her in bed, and I smell her hair, and I feel that hunger inside me that just a few years ago I thought I would never feel again. And then I nibble on her neck, and I slowly make love to her. And I hear her moan as I whisper in her ear that she is mine. And I'm overcome with gratitude that something as powerful and scientifically proven as the Testosil ingredients exist. I want you to feel that too, and you can, but only if you click the button below and claim your bottles of Testosil right now before we're forced to give it to another man who's not afraid to take action. Again, my name is Jack Simmons, and I'm incredibly excited for you to join me and thousands of other men just like you in experiencing the energy, physical power, clarity of thought, and sheer overwhelming sexual desire you'll have when you increase your testosterone naturally with Testosil. I can't wait for you to join us, and I can't wait to hear about your success with Testosil.